Good thing is about being here, you don't have to wear a seatbelt. And you can use the phone as well, it's not illegal.
The most famous stateless Brit in Syria after Shamima Begum was how Tauqir Sharif first introduced himself to us.
Right, keep it moving. Let's go.
I need to sort my hijab out.
We spent 24 incongruous hours with the Essex boy who travelled to Syria 13 years ago and had his British citizenship revoked.
Who did you fight for?
Asked tough questions about why he travelled and what it means to be British.
How British do you feel?
You can take the boy out of East London, but you can't take the East London out of the boy, right? Oh, you got a cut on your head.
Everyone calls him Tox. Along with his wife Raquel, runs a network of charities in Idlib, including an orphanage and a riding school.
We're all Brits. That's something that is kind of ingrained in me. But sadly, one of the things that I've kind of come to learn is that no, you're not actually a Brit like everybody else.
In 2012, he left Chingford, Essex, and travelled into the cauldron of Syria's civil war. Spent time as a rescue worker.
I'm one of them people that it's either 100% or it's nothing. I was a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
In 2017, he was stripped of his citizenship. The reason, according to the Home Office, the British-Pakistani dual national had travelled to Syria and was aligned with an al-Qaeda-aligned group. Although not named, the group was Jabhat al-Nusra, proscribed Islamist militants based out of Idlib. But here's the thing. They became Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, the ones who in December spearheaded the fall of Assad. And now they're running Syria with the tacit blessing of the British government.
You're not saying I'm ISIS. You're not saying I'm a terrorist. You're not even saying that I'm Al-Qaeda. You're not even saying that I'm aligned to Al-Qaeda. You're saying I'm aligned to a group that is aligned to Al-Qaeda, which is just ludicrous. So
A group that now is HTS, as we know it, who are now the government of this country.
that's right. So, I mean, in essence, I think the British government just needs to be like, we got it wrong. And yeah, say sorry, give my citizenship back. We can be friends again.
Tox and his wife Raquel travelled to Syria together. She's also British, but of Caribbean heritage. Tox has two other wives he married while in Syria. Raquel's citizenship has not been revoked.
Why did they let you keep your British passport and take away your husband's?
I actually don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I got a beard.
Maybe.
And you don't.
That evening we visit their charities orphanage in the vast IDP camps of Idlib. The fathers of most of these children were fighters killed in combat with Assad soldiers during the war. Perform a song for their patron Tox. The Home Office, though, is singing from a different tune. 8 years ago decided that he was a threat to national security, and they have the power to deprive people of citizenship if they're associated with a proscribed organisation, which is still the case with HTS, even though they're now the de facto Syrian government. Time to go deeper with Tox.
Did you ever carry weapons?
Yep, I'm carrying a weapon right now. People say, oh, you're an aid worker, you can't carry a weapon. Why not? I'm in a war.
Can you tell me who you fought for in Syria?
What I'm saying is I didn't fight for anyone. I fought against Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah, but you weren't
Can we conclusively say that
but
Bashar
you weren't
was
charged
evil?
at the palace on your own with a gun. Like, who were you with?
Yeah, but there was many independent groups. There was the Free Syrian Army.
Okay, so
the
what
Free Syrian Army.
independent?
The
Sure.
problem is that
So
people
what
think-
independent group were you with?
So I wasn't with a group. You don't. That's the thing. A lot of people think that you have to be allied to a group, or you have to give a pledge of allegiance to a group. But it doesn't work like that.
Did you shoot at a regime soldier ever?
I have been in skirmishes where we have been evacuating areas. I've been involved in areas where we've been ambushed sometimes, do you understand, delivering aid. So in those areas, in defensive maneuvers, yeah, I've had to fire back at soldiers. But this has always been in a defensive manner. But, and this is the caveat, I don't have a problem. Even if I was a fighter, I would sit here now proudly and say to you, Porrick, I was a fighter and I fought in battles and I freed places and I have no problem with that.
He initially tried to challenge the Home Office's decision, but says he decided not to pursue the appeal as some sort of protest. If he ever got his passport back, though, what would he do with it?
If I won my case and I got my passport back, I would rescind it, I would give it back. As a political statement. I would say, you know what? Thank you very much. You guys just admit you were wrong, and I don't need this passport.
Really? So after all this campaigning and after all these media interviews,
crazy.
as a couple, do you share the same vision for your family's future? Are you totally in step with each other on that?
He's probably listening to me my kids are staying in Syria.
No, I don't. I've never. I mean,
for me, traveling is really important.
Yeah.
He doesn't really see the importance.
Because the feeling I'm getting is you're dead set on Syria.
Yeah.
And you're sort of.
I want to go to Africa. I still want to do aid work in other places, but I would still love Syria to be my base.
This couple's primary identity revolves around their faith, motivates them to help the poor and fight injustice. But aside from the political bravado, Tauqir is struggling with a crisis of identity.
Did it, at a personal level, hurt?
Of course, but like I said, now definitely there was a feeling of hurt. I don't think anyone who's born and raised in the UK wouldn't feel that.
How many Brits are in a similar position to you in Syria at the moment?
I think there's about 7 or 8 others.
Okay.
Later, back at the stables, Liverpool versus PSG in the Champions League. And 2 other stateless British men join us. We find ourselves watching the football in Idlib with a group of Liverpool-supporting Brits stripped of their citizenship, deemed a national security threat. Their case is not yet fully tested in court. And if they ever are, the limits of Britishness will be on the stand.